What's up guys, Kyle here again, and today we are checking out the Regal preamp from Joyo. Let's do it! I have no idea what I just played. All right, hope that you guys are doing great out there today. If this is your first time here at my channel, I don't know what I'm on right now. I'm about to fly to Europe tomorrow and I am all nerves at the moment. But as I was saying, if this is your first time here at my channel, my name is Kyle, and what I do is I take all sorts of awesome high gain related guitar equipment, I record it with a simple SM57 setup, and I give you the unprocessed audio on your end. So if you're into E-stand or thrash riffs, drop C hardcore riffs, and dudes that are terrified of flying, you're in the right place. Consider hitting the like button and subscribing on the way out so you don't miss any more of my stuff. Thanks! All right guys, so today we are checking out the Regal preamp from Joyo, as I stated in the intro of this video. Joyo actually reached out a couple months ago, asked me if they could send a couple pedals to share with you guys here on the channel. And this is the very first of those pedals. Before we get too far in this video, I do want to mention this is a sponsored video. Joyo have paid me to share this pedal with you guys here on the channel. So feel free to take everything that I say with a massive grain of salt. You are totally fair to do so, but as always, I'm gonna give you guys my honest thoughts and opinions, so keep that in mind. So, what the hell is this pedal? The Regal preamp is a very simple, high gain preamp pedal, and honestly, I'm very surprised at how good this thing sounds. It is a one channel on-off style pedal with a bass, middle, treble, drive, and volume control. Very, very simple. But then over here, we've got a feel switch, we've got a mod switch, and we've got a bright switch. The feel switch affects how much low end is in the signal, so if you want to boost it, like we were doing in that intro clip, putting it on the down setting makes for the most low end. It has the most like tube amp like feel, but if you wanted a much tighter, more modern low end feel, you would just switch that switch up. It's a three-way switch, so you've got three different settings. Over to the mod switch. The mod switch, to my ears, is like a three-way gain switch. It really affects how much gain comes through, slightly alters the voicing with the different gain levels. I actually tried to figure out exactly what Joyo says that this switch does. The manual that came with the pedal is completely useless, and if you go online and check out the page for this pedal, it says the mod switch offers 3 different head tones. What that means, I don't know. But like I said, when I switch this mod switch, I can tell there are 3 pretty different levels of gain available with the mod switch. And then over here we have a bright switch, pretty self-explanatory. You turn it on, you get more brightness in the signal. This is gonna lend itself to more modern, clanky style, high gain tones. Overall, I'd say this is a fairly standard sounding distortion preamp pedal, but not in a bad way. I think it's a great tone, and this thing runs 70 bucks brand new. I think it's a good value. So with that being said, we're gonna check this pedal out in 3 different ways. Right now we are plugged directly into the pedal, and we are running the pedal into the power section of my Mezza Barba Trinity here, running 6L6 power tubes. We are also going to check it out into the Black Star Amped 1. This is a 100 watt solid state power amp pedal. And then I'm gonna plug it directly into my interface, and we're gonna dial in a tone or 2, going straight into a good impulse response. And for this demo, I am using my Balaguer Typhon with a Seymour Duncan distortion in the bridge. We are going into a Marshall 425 A cab with G12C greenbacks, and we've got an SM57 on that greenback, and there will be no post-processing on the audio at all in this video. So what you hear is what is coming straight out of that speaker into the microphone, into the DAW. Yay! All right, so let's revisit that tone that I had in the intro, because I personally think it sounded pretty sick. So we've got a very saturated, a nice tight low end percussive tone. I was boosting the pedal with the Way Huge Green Rhino overdrive, so we're gonna turn off that overdrive. Now we're going straight into the pedal with these settings as you see it. So as you hear it now, it's a little bit on the loose side, but still fairly tight. So we're gonna leave the mod switch in the middle because that seems to have the most gain. We're gonna bump the feel switch up to the middle because that's going to give us a little bit more tightness. That is a pretty modern tone. We've got a lot of mids. We've got a decent amount of string clarity. I'm gonna go ahead and bump the drive up though because we do not have a lot of saturation. All right, so for like a standard hardcore tone, it actually sounds pretty good. Let's go ahead, let's dime that gain. And again, we're not boosting it. This is just the pedal. So, pretty modern voicing. We definitely have a nice upper mid grind thing going on. Let's go ahead, let's switch that feel all the way up and see how tight it gets. All right, let's actually switch it back to the middle. Not a huge difference between those two settings, honestly. Let's go to the bottom. Yeah, if you were trying to get a thicker, fuller low end, the bottom is definitely where it's at. The top two, not a big difference between those two settings. Now, the pedal doesn't naturally have a ton of gain. Let's switch it down into the bottom mod setting. Slightly different voicing. Gain structure seems pretty much the same. It's got just enough gain on its own that I think that most people would be satisfied. If we're being 100% honest, the feel of this thing I think is one of the most impressive parts about this pedal. A lot of preamp pedals have a very solid state feel to them because they're solid state circuits. It's not really that surprising, but this one actually does. Even though it's got a tight percussive low end, it's still like you have to dig into the guitar in order to get the goods out of it. And I like that because I like playing hard with my right hand. Let's check out this brightness switch. So let's turn that bright switch off. Let's turn the mod switch to the top now. All right, so the mod switch in the top position, very modern, not a lot of gain. If you were going for like the djenty type stuff and you had a lower tuned guitar, you want that big mid cut, this is where it's gonna be for you. So overall, a really dry sound, really clanky, really, you know, in the low end, there's just not a lot going on, especially with that tightness switch up top. But yeah, that's all the time I want to spend in that setting because I personally don't like it. But if you're into the more modern style tones of, say, Fortin amplifiers, that might be a little bit more your thing. All right, so we are in drop C now, and here is the pedal by itself. And then I'm gonna kick on a boost to show you guys how this thing takes an overdrive. So honestly, that's a pretty brutal sound. I like the way that that sounds. Let's go ahead, let's kick on a Boss SD1. All right, that sounds really good. I'm seriously impressed by this pedal, guys. I think that this thing actually sounds really good going through the tube amp section of the Mezza Barba, but this is also a $4,000 tube amp. So let's get a little bit more realistic. Let's put it into the Amped 1 power amp. This is about 500 bucks. And more than likely, people who are running preamp pedals are gonna be running them into a pedal power amp anyways. Dude, sounds great to me. If I had to make a fly rig and this was my only option to go into the Blackstar Amped 1 to throw on a pedal board, I would not be upset with that tone at all. I think that actually sounds really good. Let's add a little bit more bass from the power amp pedal. Let's add a little bit more bass from the preamp. All right, sounds nasty to me, man. I'm happy with that. We're getting maybe a tad bit of noise from boosting the pedal, but it's honestly not bad. The compression overall is squashing the low end by pushing it into the front end of the pedal. But I mean, you're gonna have that with preamp pedals. Some of them respond better than others, and I think that this is honestly one of the better responding pedals when it comes to that stuff that I've tried anyways. Let's bump those mids a little bit. I'm gonna go back up to standard tuning. We're gonna turn that SD1 off and we're gonna go straight into the pedal. I'm gonna pull that bass back. We're gonna put the feel in the middle. We're gonna leave the mod where it is. Actually, let's turn the mids down and get a more classic thrash tune out of this thing. Dude, this thing has no business sounding this good at 70 bucks. This thing sounds incredible. I'm super impressed, like for real. Like, is it my favorite preamp sound ever? No. Would I be absolutely more than happy with this sound if all I had was 70 bucks and this was the pedal that I bought? Yeah, man. Like this thing is doing good things for me. I'm really enjoying it. It's responding well to having the mid scooped out. As long as you have some sort of post EQ to kind of help shape it a little bit more, I think you're gonna be just fine. I think this thing is accomplishing everything I'm throwing at it so far. Real quick, let's try a 7-string through it, and then I'll play a riff through the DAW directly into an impulse response. We'll call it a day. Dude, 7-string straight in, that is money. That sounds super good the way that it's dialed in. You're gonna cut, you've got clarity. I think it sounds great. I would like maybe just a little bit more gain out of the pedal, but other than that, no complaints. Let's go into the DAW now and check it out that way. All right, guys, so we're going directly into my interface from the preamp pedal now into the Get Good Drums Cali Oversized plugin. And here is what we have. No post-processing on this signal either. No post-EQ on the pedal. And just because I'm curious, I want to test out that top mod spot where it has the least gain. Yeah, super clanky, super dry, not very much overdrive. Last thing I want to do, grab my other guitar one more time. Let's hit it with a boost into this and see how it sounds. Alright guys, that is going to do it for me today on the Joyo Regal preamp. What did you guys think about this pedal? Let me know down below in the comments. Really curious to see what you guys think about it. I'm honestly a big fan, and at $69.99, I think it's a great buy, especially if you're on a budget looking for a great tone. I think Joyo did a great job with this thing, but again, want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Let me know down below in the comments. If you guys want to pick this up, I will link it down below. It will not be an affiliate link, but it will be a link for you guys to find it if you would like to purchase it. And if you would like to support my channel, consider adding your name to this list of incredible people by joining my Patreon, supporting the channel that way. Everything you guys put in that Patreon account goes into me making more and better content for this channel, and I greatly appreciate the support. Hit the like button, subscribe on the way out, all that YouTuber crap. Thanks so much for watching. Kyle here again. We'll see you next time.
You know what this wall is missing? Another amp. There we go.